Welcome everyone. So in this session, we are going to learn about the basics principles of tax. So um, the Constitution of India provides that no tax be levied or collected expect by authority of law. So who is the competent authority to collect tax? The government is the competent authority to collect the tax. Government is the competent authority to collect the tax. Um, actually, it provides authority to the central and state government to levy and collect tax on the subject enumerated in the list in you know seventh schedule of our Indian Constitution. So our Indian Constitution has four um, yeah 495 articles, then 25 parts, and 12 schedules. Okay, so in that seventh schedule of our Indian Constitution explains about only the state government and central government can levy the tax. Can levy the tax. So thus both the central and the state government are interested in collecting or collection of the tax. So in India, the income tax, there is an act called for income tax, that is Income Tax Act 1961. Sorry, Income Tax 1961. Yes. I'm so sorry. Yes. 1961. The Income Tax Act 1961 was passed under the entry 82 in the list 1. So what is the concept of the tax? Concept of the tax. What is the concept? What is the concept of the tax? So a tax is a compulsory extraction of money. What? A tax is a compulsory extraction of money. Of, no, in terms of money, not in terms of in terms of kind. So what is the concept? So concept of tax is what exactly? It is a compulsory extraction of money. Compulsory extraction. Compulsory extraction of money. Okay, I will type. That would be nice. So it is a compulsory extraction of money. Okay. Compulsory extraction of money. From whom? From whom? From the public. From the public. From the public. Okay, so the tax is a compulsory extraction of money from the public by the public authority. By whom? By the public authority. Here the public means the citizen, right? The citizen. So, which should be enforceable by law. It should be enforceable by law also. Okay, so a tax which is levied by the authority, which is against the constitution, against the rights of the citizen, definitely then it is called as contradictory to the constitution or violation of constitutional rights. So a tax should be for common purpose. A tax should be levied for certain criteria which is mentioned in income tax or the taxation law. And if a tax is taken and it is violating the rights of the citizen, definitely it is unconstitutional. So tax is a compulsory extraction of money by the public authority because the state is under an obligation to prevent the concentration of wealth. So the state is to prevent the concentration of wealth. So what is the benefit of collecting the tax? So state means in law we call the country as state. Okay, the state has to minimize the concentration wealth in very few people. All right. So this is the concept of this is the concept of taxation. So tax is a compulsory extraction of money from the public by the public authority, and it should be enforceable by law, and the state has to minimize the concentration of wealth in very few people, in the hands of very few people, and they have to redistribute the same for the common good. So there should be a economic justice also. There shall be an economic justice. What? Economic justice. One second. So there shall be economic justice. Okay, so the state has to go for economic justice. So one of the main tasks which is vested in the state to make a welfare state by means of economic justice. So when you read the preamble of the constitution, okay, you can see, one second. So in the preamble, we the people of India solemnly resolve into sovereign, socialist, democratic republic, and to give the citizen all the economic justice, faith, belief, everything. So economic justice, the state has to ensure the economic justice in the land, in the state, right? So economic justice is one of the main tasks to make a welfare state. So imposition of tax is unavoidable since it is the only source of revenue for the state also, right? It is the only source of revenue of the state also, or the government. And what exactly the government has to do nowadays? People are today also I'm not supporter of any of the political party. Any of the political party. If any political party is doing something wrong, definitely I will, you know, I may criticize. Okay, I am friend to every political party. So here today, the after 2 years of a COVID, people are you know observing the strike. For what reason? So there is a political reason, because the central government is selling all the banks, all the other public sectors. Okay, do you know that in US and all the there is no such kind of a concept public sector and all. Okay, there are offices, government offices like excise, custom, only to levy taxes, income tax, sale tax, and police, army. So those officers are there, but there is no governments on governments on mobile network. When you go to Dubai, you cannot see governments on mobile network. There is Do and Etisalat, that is owned by private companies. And government, the ultimate thing in a developed country, they think like, governments are not for doing business. The government is to regulate, the business. That's it. Regulate the business. So what exactly the income source of government or income source of the state is? Because of the tax. Why should they break their head for doing business? They have to give it to some other, I mean, like as a lease for certain years, and so that GDP will increase. You know about the problem with the public sector. If it is a government organization, majority of government organization is flop. Majority of government organization is flop until and unless the space institutions and other government institutions are good. Other government institutions are having less infrastructure, have less technology and all. Government don't have time to look into that. If it is a private organization, definitely they will look after, and government will regulate them. Do this. That is called as ultimate management. Do things, I mean, like make things done through others. That is called as a management. It is not doing, making things done through others. So what exactly the tax, the object of the tax are fourfold in nature. The objectives of tax are fourfold in nature. Let's see. What are the objectives of a tax? Okay. So the first objective is prevention of concentration of wealth. Prevention of concentration of wealth. Right? Hello? Accepted? Yes. The second one is redistribution of wealth. So government will collect and government will redistribute to the person who, yes, levied the tax, and person who levied more taxes, and person who levied less tax. Paranjo. Is there anything to speak? So that is called as a redistribution. Okay, that is called as redistribution of wealth. So government will collect it. Government will use the tax amount for nation building. Oh, computer is getting hanged. Sorry. And the third point is maintenance of welfare states. Maintenance of welfare state. So there are haves and have nots, right? So the government has to look after more, has to give more priority to economically backward, socially backward. So government will use this for majority for uplifting those people. So next, the last one, to provide economical or economic justice, to provide as per the constitution. Right. So it should be noted that Article 39 of the Indian Constitution gives a direction that the state should strive to secure that the citizens, men and women, have an equal right for an adequate means of livelihood. The ownership and control of material resources of the community are distributed to serve the common good, and the economic system does not result in concentration of wealth. So to avoid the concentration of the wealth, the government is, levying the tax, and tax evasion is a crime also. So there are different exponents explained about the tax. Different exponents explained about tax. Okay. So what are the principles said by Adam Smith? Adam Smith. Okay. So what are the principles said by Adam Smith? So Adam Smith explains certain principles. So first one is the principle of equality. Principle of equality. What exactly the principle of equality said? So in like circumstances, tax should be equal. So that's why tax having different slabs in like circumstances. Have an example. I am very rich, but I am earning only through my salary. I am earning only. I am very filthy rich in terms of what? In terms of my wealth, not in terms of income. Okay. In terms of a wealth, I am rich. In income, I am getting only less than 3 lakhs. Okay. So I am filthy rich, same like whom? Anil Ambani. But my monthly income is less than 18,000. So it is 18 or 25,000. So it is less than 3 lakh. So I have to pay tax up to 3 lakh. If it is there is tax exemption, definitely I will enjoy that tax holiday or tax exemption, even though I am rich in other means like wealth tax. I have to levy wealth tax. But income tax, as per the income tax, my slab is less than 3 lakhs, so I need not want to pay the tax amount. So this is called as a principle of equality. Even though a person from a lower like a profile in the sense caste or creed or whatever it is, if he is from a lower caste and he is earning more than 10 lakhs per annum, definitely he will come in the same slab with a person who is from the upper caste who is earning 10 lakhs. There is no tax exemption as per in terms of a caste, creed, sex, geographical area, no. So that is called as a principle of equality. Okay. That means what? tax should be tax should be equal, or tax should be equal in like circumstances. Okay. So next is the second principle is principle of certainty. So what exactly principle of certainty? So principle of certainty is like the tax which each individual is to pay ought to be certain and not abrupt. Certain amount of taxes, 3 to 5 lakhs, certain amount of taxes I have to pay. 10 to 5 to 10 lakhs I have to pay a certain amount, right? So the time of payment and the quantity of payment must be clear. So it should be clear. Tax payment should be clear. There is a clarity of payment amount and the time. Okay, there is no abrupt means without any um, conclusion or information. That's it. So next is convenience of time of payment. Convenience of convenience of time of payment. Okay, so the time of payment should be convenient to the assessee. So it should be convenient. So that's why you know the government is giving more time, extra time with the fine and all. So that's why we put it like a financial year, right? Financial year and assessment year. So financial year, we can write what are the expected amount and expected expenditure we have. That means expected receivables and expected expenditure. A person can foresee in that, and we can plan for tax payment. So nowadays tedious is there. So what exactly tedious for me? It is like a quarterly we have to pay the tax. Quarterly we are paying the tax, and at the end of the day we'll file the return, and definitely if we are not in the tax slabs, definitely we'll get the returns back. The paid amount will be. So nowadays we have to pay the amount first and then claim it back. That is called as a tedious. Okay. So next, the third one is, so there is a convenient time of a payment. Next is economy in collection. So what is economy in collection? The tax collection machinery should not be allowed to eat away the entire tax that they have collected. So if the entire amount of tax is spent towards the salary of tax machinery, then the noble object of tax, that is welfare of state, is a failure. So economy in collection should be there. That means those who earn high income, they have to pay more. They have to pay more. Those who earning less, they need not want to pay. They need not want to pay. So that's why economy in collection is needed. And the expenditure, if the government is spending all the fund which is collected from the tax, definitely it is called as a deficit. So deficit of fund is a bad sign for a country. And the tax rate should be reasonable. So these are the principles given by Adam Smith. Tax rate should be reasonable, right? Tax rate should be reasonable. It shall not be too high or too less. So hence tax rate should be reasonable. Otherwise people will try to evade the payment of taxes, and give them proper time also. Okay, and they have to get the benefit of a tax payment. Have an example. I can increase my borrowing power. If I am paying tax, bank will give me loan. So that kind of a benefits I will get by paying the tax. Next is a consideration of a problem of taxpayers. So definitely we should have to take care of the taxpayers. Uh, you know like in terms of certain things, like taxpayers will get a privilege in the community, privileged people in the society. Taxpayers will get the loan very easily. So this is called as a consideration of a taxpayers. The seventh one is diversity of taxes. The diversity of what? Taxes. So government should not rely on one or two taxes only, but there are several taxes: direct tax and indirect tax. In direct tax, we learned about a direct tax, we learned about a indirect tax yesterday, right? In direct tax, it is like a, GST, VAT, excise, custom will come in direct tax, right? And what about the indirect tax? So, like, sorry, direct tax is income tax, wealth tax, etc., or direct tax. Indirect tax are, GST, VAT, custom, excise are indirect taxes. So diversity of taxes are there, right? So next is tax should be neutral. Tax should be neutral. So every time the tax should not have adverse effect on production. So it shall not be a burden for everyone. It shall not be a burden. So the above, all the principle which I have said, to be adhered to for the purpose of achieving the object of a law of taxation. All the seven principles we have to take care while taking the tax into consider. All right. So I'm just stopping it here. Okay. Thank you so much.